Hello and good morning, my friends. I'm here at Six Flags America. Gonna check out some coasters down here. I heard that there is Firebird, which was Apocalypse, and that was recently converted this year. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. I've heard that Batwing is not operating. That's gonna be a bummer, but we'll go take a look. I invite you to come along. I'm Andres, and welcome to Thrills and Magic. I realize I didn't get an entrance to the front of the park, but it looks like most other Six Flags. It has this smaller, like, Main Street area, I don't know what to call it, and then to the right after that fountain is the entrance to Hurricane Harbor. But then if you keep going straight and go this way, this is where we enter the dry park. Anyway, so this park is laid out a little bit strangely, so we're gonna start heading to the right here. I think there's a Mardi Gras area. Up ahead is Ragin' Cajun. Then we have like a little bar here and a couple of Midway games. It's a cute little area here. So just got done with Ragin' Cajun. This one, there's not too much to say about because it is your typical Zamperla Crazy Mouse, which apparently is the distinction between the spinning ones and the non-spinning ones. The non-spinning ones are wild mouses. These spinning ones are crazy mouses. I didn't actually know that until today, until I looked it up. At any rate, it was a lot of fun. I do remember a long time ago, this was the spot where the Two-Face coaster was, which might have just been a Vekoma Boomerang if I remember. But anyway, guys, I think we're gonna keep moving on. The next one up is the Wild One. Here we are in front of the Wild One. Back in 1917, this used to be one of the tallest roller coasters, if not the tallest roller coaster in the world. Then in 1984, it was transplanted here, I believe, from Massachusetts to Bowie, Maryland, or are we Upper Marlboro? I'm not sure. I actually really enjoy this ride. It was resurfaced or retracked. I forget what actually got done to it, but this thing really moves. The last banks at the end are insane. I really enjoy this one. Just got off a Wild One. Still really good. I enjoy it. For a 100-year coaster, I think it's doing great. I just want to highlight some of the names of the things here in the Mardi Gras area. This right here is the Voodoo Drop. This drop tower here, which is probably not going to be in focus because I set focus to my face. This little water, like, balloon popping thing is called Bourbon Shot. And then they have a Larson Loop, which is called the Bourbon Street Fireball. It's fun. I'm glad they're having fun with it. So the funny thing about the layout of this park is that there's kind of like one way. It's basically a giant L, so you have to go up one part of the park and then backtrack and make your other way to the other half. So I'm gonna go up the one half here. I believe the next ride is Joker's Jinx. Here is the aforementioned Bourbon. Wait, no, not Bourbon. This is the Fireball, this Larson Loop here. One cool thing about the layout of the park, even though it's a little funny, you do get to walk underneath the ride supports of the Wild One, which is right there. So I think that's a nice touch, no? But off in the distance, you can see Ride of Steel, Superman Ride of Steel over here. I'm guessing there's a Batmobile around here somewhere, because every Gotham City needs a Batmobile. So just beyond the Gotham Arena there where the stunt show happens, they have a sign up that they just recently announced that they're going to be putting in a giant discovery here, the Harley Quinn Spin Sanity, right next to that little Riddler ride. And over here is Joker's Jinx. Oh, and I did actually find the Batmobile. It's right here. So here we are at Joker's Jinx. This one is a premiere LIM launch. It's from '99, back when those were in vogue, I guess. But it's a fun ride. One of the only ones that I actually get dizzy on because while you're on the ride, you don't realize it, but you're constantly going to the left. And it made me surprisingly dizzy when I got off of it. It's still a fun ride. It's just like this big spaghetti bowl of track. It's a fun layout, I think. But let's go check it out. I highly recommend doing this one. And this one so far, this is the third coaster I've been on. This one is the only one that I think is original to this park so far. Just got off of Joker's Jinx. It was a lot of fun. I only counted 4 inversions, which surprised me. I thought there was 6 or something like that, but it wasn't nearly as disorienting as I remember. Just wanted to point out this spot that I found here. It's pretty cool because you have Joker's Jinx here, then we take a turn and you see Firebird, then right in front of that is Wild One, and then to the back there you can sort of make out Roar, and then right here is Ride of Steel. I can see this is the Wonder Woman Lasso of Truth for this park. Meanwhile, the one over at Great Adventure is the giant Discovery that we got. So interesting that I don't know why that is, that they use the same names for different types of rides. Like there's 3 or 4 Catwoman whips now. But it's nice that they're expanding on this area. It's just funny that it's all the way out here, kind of in its own little nook, because there's not much in this area. As I turn around, there's just this Ride of Steel, and that's it. So here we are at Superman Ride of Steel. This one is firmly somewhere in the top 50 in terms of rankings. It has a 200-foot drop, I think. I've heard 2 things. It's either an Intamin hypercoaster or mega coaster. I'm leaning towards mega coaster because this doesn't look like other hypers that I've seen, but you guys let me know. It is a pretty decent ride for what it is. I do love the Helix that's at some point in this ride. It's been like 2 years since I've been on this, so forgive me. Right as I'm exiting Superman Ride of Steel, I see Batwing in front of me, which doesn't really have any theming whatsoever. I think it's down. I saw it run once today. So I went there and just asked, and there is a chance that Batwing will be up today, and we can talk a little bit more about it later, hopefully. But I did forget to talk about Superman, which I still don't know if it's a Mega or a Hyper, but it is Intamin. It feels a little dated, but it's still a fun ride. The restraints are very uncomfortable. They have like this foam padding on your ankles, on your shins, and just bumping into those is not a pleasant experience. The drops are great, but because of the restraints, you don't get any sort of hang time at all, or it's unfortunate. One thing I do want to point out about this portion of the park is that there's like nowhere to eat once you go beyond Gotham City. I think there might have been a snack thing in the Whistle Stop Park, but that's really it. It's kind of unfortunate because this was, timing-wise, this would have worked out well if there had been somewhere to eat right around here. Made it over to the other half of the park, and we're gonna make our way out there. There's the Gotham City exit that I just came from, and as I complete this little circle here, here's Firebird. So this used to be Apocalypse, which was an old stand-up roller coaster, and I think this is another coaster that came from a different park, probably Six Flags Great America. I forget what the previous name was it was before it came over to Six Flags America as Apocalypse. Last year, they announced that this was going to be converted into a floorless roller coaster, which means it's going to be a much more comfortable ride. New paint job looks good. I like the name. It kind of works for what they actually did to this ride, and I'm looking forward to getting on this thing and giving you my thoughts. So Firebird was pretty good. It's Apocalypse, but more comfortable. I would give it a sticker for most improved. I still clap my ears a little bit because of the over-the-shoulder restraints, but otherwise, I'm a fan. I really like what they did. I really hope that they will do something like this for Green Lantern over at Great Adventure. This is only the 3rd time that they've done a stand-up to floorless conversion for a B&M, and those stand-ups, if you have been on one, they're notoriously uncomfortable. Next coaster up is Roar, which is a GCI wooden roller coaster. It is kind of like one of my favorites here. I don't know why exactly. It's just a really good wooden roller coaster, in my experience anyway. There's a couple elements here that make you feel like you're going a little faster than you are. There is some sort of like speed wood shed type of thing that goes on, and it's built on a hillside, so it's a little steeper than it really looks like it is, so it really hauls, and it's a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of Roar and the GCI wooden roller coasters, these twisting sort of ones. Not a big fan of those PTC type of restraints and trains though. They seem to add this level of ricketiness and stiffness that's not a lot of fun. But despite that, this track layout is a lot of fun. It is a little shaky, but in a good way. Anyway, the way we're heading is over to where Mind Eraser is, which you guys, if you've been following along, know how I feel about those Vekoma SLCs. The Mind Eraser is just an aging, rattling, rickety, old, inverted roller coaster, and it's painful. But it is in a pretty nicely themed area called Coyote Creek. I think I even hear some like nice area music here, but check out these shops. Turkey legs and dogs, a fake barbershop, candy creation. Like, this is nice. I like this. I wish, and it keeps going down here. Huh. Anyway, I do like how the arcade here resembles like a game hall. That's pretty cool. And they have a saloon where they have a 50s dance show. Huh. Interesting. The restrooms is the jail. It's so funny. They even have a water wheel that's going. Where it goes, I don't know, but they have tattered clothes up there. Look at all this steaming. It's all focused in this one area. This thing is spitting out water all the way out here. Oh boy. And then unfortunately, here's Mind Eraser. I think this is my 56th for the year. Let's get it done. Unless you're chasing credits, I really don't recommend that ride. Like, I'm doing it because I am trying to do as many unique coasters as I can this year. But otherwise, that would be a hard pass for me. I believe this completes one full circuit here. Last thing I want to do is go see if Batwing is open. The app still says temporary closed, but while I was on the lift hill for Roar, I saw a train going on it. So we're going to go all the way back to the other side of the park. I grabbed a map to kind of give you a sense of the layout of this park because I was complaining about having to go back and forth. So from the main entrance, you go down, and from this area, you have to go all the way down to these two rides. And then there's only backtracking to this way. Then you can go do this area where this is Mind Eraser, which I just came from. So I'm actually right here somewhere towards the front because I came to grab a map. But in order to get to Batwing, I have to go through here and then go all the way back. So it looks like they are running Batwing, and I cannot wait to get on this. A little bit about it is it is a Vekoma Flying Dutchman, I believe. And from what I read, there's not too many installations of this type of ride. It reminds me a lot of the type of ride like a flying coaster where you're on your stomach. Here you're actually lying down on your back. And then once you get over that first hill, you're quickly turned over into a flying position. But then you are turned back over, and you will be on your back for a couple of elements as well. That is seriously such a fun coaster. It was so much fun. A little disorienting at times because of the way you would go from lying on your back to being on your stomach to being prone. So it could be a little disorienting in that fact, but not knowing, like, your head is pointing towards the direction of the train of where everything is going, but you can't see it at all. And it makes for this very unique experience. I absolutely enjoyed this. It does take a little bit of time to get on and off of it, unfortunately. The restraints, you have like a vest that buckles like right in the middle of your chest, and then you have a bar that comes down, and then you're kind of like snug in there. But still, amazing, a lot of fun. I'm glad that I'm able to finish my day off with this one. All right, guys, so as I'm making my way out of the park here, let's talk about the rides. I went on 8 roller coasters. There is one other roller coaster if you're hunting credits, which is the Great Chase, and that is in one of the kids areas. I generally don't go for the kiddie coasters just to like pad my numbers, but I know some of you guys are chasing those credits hard. There's one here, so that gives you a total of 9 at this park, so it makes it pretty much a must stop if you're credit hunting. Other than that, let's talk about, I guess, my rankings for this place. There is no one roller coaster that really stands out to me at this park. There's a bunch that are kind of at the top, and then there's Mind Eraser, and that's pretty much it. For me, my personal favorites are tied between Batwing and Roar. Below that is Ride of Steel, Wild One, and Joker's Jinx. I'm forgetting one other one. Slot Firebird right in between those other 3, and then put Mind Eraser at the bottom, and that's pretty much... Oh, and don't forget Raging Cajun. That's definitely above Mind Eraser. So that's going to do it for me here at Six Flags America. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and I hope you go make your own adventure.